Even though the canyon isn't quite the test piece as it used to be, you know, there's certainly other world-class destinations. People don't put American Fork on the top of their go-to list. It's still a thriving community where younger generations are going, learning new skills on this type of climb and on this type of rock.
5'12".
How old are you?
5.5.
Travel around the country every year. We're still Eastern, climbers, and I bring my family out, my young boys who are really getting into climbing and tearing it up. It's good for them to kind of get to an old school sport climbing area like American Fork and see what it was all about back in the day when it all got started in terms of the sport climbing scene. Some of the newer areas, the bolts are closer together, closer to the ground. Some of the newer areas are kind of outdoor climbing gyms almost. This place is definitely a little sporty. It takes a little bit of skill, and it can be certainly heady at times.
But there's definitely a lot of classic routes here that you would want to try, like lots of 11s and 12s that are really fun.
When I first came up with my friends, we just went up sport climbing and I really liked it. I'm more of a boulderer, but this rock is really cool and the problems really just fun to do, Even repeating them is always fun.
Classic Boone Speed line is thin, crimpy, technical, and powerful.
Got cool movement, and I like how it depends a lot on footwork.
The Olympics are out there on the horizon for 2020, and that's really exciting to me to think about. Some of these kids that we've got now that are 8 or 9 could someday be Olympic athletes.
And the Hörst kids are absolutely crushing it. I mean, this is a perfect example of how the younger generation can really push the limits, given that they have a place to actually perform these types of climbs. They're absolutely killing it.
Cameron just sent this 13A over the hill called
Mavada, as I seconded it. Yeah, so it's definitely the grades can be harder for shorter people. And here it tends to have stiffer grades since it's an old school graded route and area.
Nice, Cam. Come
on, Cam. Nice, get the anchors. Oh, he's going for the mantle. Nice. That's how you do it.
We should treasure every crack, every location as best as we can, because we need to preserve the integrity of the place. And even though the hype is gone, the environment needs to be protected for the next generation to enjoy. I think there's always new potential for people who are looking for it.
Yeah, and there's a lot of current climbers that are really crushing it in the canyon right now. You got Mike Call, Mike Beck, who have done some great development in the canyon. James Litz, who's certainly done some hard climbs throughout the country, but also specifically in American Fork.
But all is changed with time. The future none can see.
Okay, Tech. We can definitely see that we have an active community here in terms of development and progress.
Jacinda Hunter, who put up 14 Bs just recently as a first ascent. These are people who have jobs who aren't full-time climbers, but they're still developing some great stuff in the canyon.
Yeah, so this was bolted in the 90s and kind of abandoned as a open project. A few years ago, Jacinda came up here and put some good effort in and sent it. And it's a new good addition in the 514 range at American Fork. I mean, it's probably one of the better routes up here in that range. It's technical and sustained bouldery, even more so than some of the other routes here even. The stuff that Boone bolted and the stuff that they did, Boone and Jeff and all those guys bolted a bunch of stuff here, and it's cool to see the stuff that they did and then to come and see the stuff that they left. Maybe they didn't get around to it, or it wasn't the right time or something like that, and it's cool to see what their vision was at that time, whether they did it or not. That they even just put bolts in it is progressive. Right now, living here and it being a local climbing area and mainly seeing locals here, with a few traveling climbers, it's pretty cool to know that this place was one of the areas that started hard American sport climbing, and people recognize that from all over the world.
So these guys were the ones who are paving the way for, climbing as we know it now. And American Fork just had to be, their playground. They climbed there a lot. Take. I think it's always important to recognize the people who made things the way they are now.